You are welcome to today's lesson. We will be learning about protection methods of data threats. After watching this video, the student will be able to 1. Map the protection methods to each of the 4 identified data threats: authorization, authentication, encryption and decryption. 2. Brainstorm the strategies of protecting data against the 4 main threats. 3. Describe the threats of data security and the methods of preventing each threat. Have you ever been asked to provide details to access to data on a phone, laptop, email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Enter slide note. What is authentication? Authentication is the process of ascertaining whether someone or something is who or what it claims to be. Authentication is done to determine an individual's identity, commonly done using a login, username, password and some form of additional verification. Authentication technology checks if a user's credentials match those in a system. There are a variety of security options aside from inputting a password. Using gestures is a typical example. For example, in Windows, you choose a photo and then make 3 movements on it, straight lines, circles or taps to access the smartphone. The next slide shows authentication security measures. Authentication measures are password, fingerprint, gesture, facial recognition, iris scan. After a person has been authenticated, it is frequently subjected to an authorization procedure to assess if the authenticated person, entity, should be granted access to a protected resource or system. Authorization. Authorization is the process of providing or refusing access to the resources on a network. The majority of computer security systems use a 2-step approach. Authentication is the first stage, which verifies that a user is who they claim to be. The second stage is authorization, which grants the user access to various resources based on their identity. Authorization can be simple as granting someone permission to download a particular file from a server or as complex as giving individual users administrative access to an application. Encryption and decryption. The process of converting plain text or data into cipher that the sender and the intended receiver only read is known as encryption. Ciphertext cannot be read until it has been decrypted, converted or plaintext. What is decryption? Decryption is the method of converting ciphertext back to plaintext. Data is encrypted using encryption key, a secret numerical code that converts plaintext into ciphertext. The recipient is responsible for decrypting the communication. Decryption is the method of converting ciphertext back to plaintext. Data is encrypted using encryption key, a secret numerical code that converts plaintext into ciphertext. The recipient is responsible for decrypting the communication. If you encrypt your SD card, it cannot be read if removed and inserted into another device. The operating system on both iOS and Android devices has a built-in encryption option. If you encrypt your SD card, it cannot be read if removed and inserted into another device. The operating system on both iOS and Android devices has a built-in encryption option.